Yoga and Mobility with Mel and Maeve. Today what we're going to do is a little bit of some pelvic mobility exercises. So we're going to start out lying on the floor. So we're going to test out just leaving her where she is. I'm just going to you're going to lie into your back and then bend your knees up. So just have her in between my legs, hopefully pulling away. So what we're going to do is we're going to do pelvic clocks. So we want to think about your belly button being 12 o'clock, your pubic bone being 6 o'clock, and then your two frontal hip bones being 3 and 9. So you can kind of poke, you'll feel them, those two bony bits that stick out onto the sides here, so your side hip bones. So that's 3 and 9. So we're going to do first, going into the clock, we're going to start doing 12 and 6. So what we want to do is you're going to roll. So you're going to lift your tailbone off the floor, curling into your lower belly. So you come to 12 o'clock. And then you're going to go to 6 o'clock, and then you arch. So it's like your lower back lifts off the floor. And then you're just going to rock back and forth between that, doing 12 and 6. 12 and 6. So try to keep your legs from like moving out to the sides. Just keep them where they are. And then you're just rocking back and forth, doing these little tiny pelvic rocks. Now if you're doing too much, your whole body will kind of move up and around. So you want to try to keep that upper body, your upper torso, just relaxed onto the floor, not moving, while the pelvis moves. So the idea is that we want to move your pelvis separately from the rest of the body. So we're just starting out with this 12 and 6, 12 and 6. And it's a tiny movement. Notice how you drive through your feet to help this movement. And if it feels challenging or kind of hard for you, don't worry. Just do this video a few times and you'll get a little bit better at it. Okay, now we're going to go 3 and 9. So we're going to drop one hip down to the floor, so the 3. And then we're going to go the 9 down, so the 3 lifts up. So side to side now, one hip down, the other hip lifts. One hip down, the other hip lifts. And if you're like, I have no idea what I'm doing here, don't worry. But just try to move side to side, so you're lifting one hip off the floor and then the other. So when you lift one hip off the floor, that knee will kind of drive forward, keeping your feet on the floor. And then when you lower it down, the other knee will drive forward to lift that hip off. And again, we want to try to keep your ribs on the floor, so you're just going side to side in the pelvis. So go slow, go fast. Slower might be a little bit easier to maintain some control, and then just doing your 3 to 9. And for myself, I feel it a lot in like my lower back. So there's a lot of, your pelvis is your center of gravity. It connects to your lower back and everything, so you'll feel a lot of stuff working. Now that we know our 12, 6, 3, and 9, now we're going to do a pelvic clock. So we're going to go around the clock, clockwise first. So we're going to start at 12, so you're going to curl in, and then you're going to go to 3, and then 6, and then 9, and then back to 12, you're curling up and in. Let's do that 3 more times. Go 3, 6, 9, and then back to 12. 2 more. 3, 6, 9, 12. One more. 9, and then back to 12. And then we'll go counterclockwise. So you'll go 9, 6, 3, 12. So again, we want to emphasize that movement in that lower half of the body. You don't want your shoulders to be rolling around. You don't want your ribs to be moving a lot. We're trying just to move the pelvis here. Okay, let's do one more. Going 9, 6, 3, and back to 12. Good. Now let's do a little spinal segmentation. So as we roll our spine up, we're going to segment one vertebra at a time. So we're going to start with that pelvis curling up first. So you're going to push down through your heels. You're going to curl your pelvis. So you're doing like that 12 o'clock. Then you're going to continue one vertebra at a time. So you want to think about a pearl necklace, so that your vertebra, your spine, is lifting one vertebra at a time off the ground. And as you come up, you don't want to overarch so your ribs lift. Hello, boo-boo. Hello. Okay, boo. Yes, hi. Just a little bit of a mishap there. Okay, let's put you here. So let's do it again. You can put your babe on your belly. This works too. Here we go. And then we'll curl up. So you're gonna press into your heels, lift your pelvis, lower back, middle back, all the way up. She's my little 10-pound weight. This is also a really good exercise for a little bit more strength. And then again, press into the heels, lift pelvis, lower back, middle back, upper back, squeeze up. And you want to make sure your ribs aren't hiking up. And then ripple, roll it back and down. Nice control. Let's do one more. Press the heels, lift your pelvis, lower back, middle back, upper back, squeeze, squeeze. Press down through the heels, lifting up. Let's hold here, stay here. Hi. Yeah, you can have your babe on you like this. It's a great little extra weight. So your glutes, your legs have to work a little bit harder. And then stay up here. See if you can just do a little side to side. Sway your hips to the left, sway your hips to the right. Sway side to side, side to side. Hi. Hi. 3, 2, 1, and then roll back down nice and slowly all the way down to the floor. Good. Take a few breaths. That should have really worked those legs a little bit. And then let's just rock your legs left and right, side to side, side to side. Left and right, side to side, side to side. Hi. Good. Now that we're talking about the pelvis, let's do a little bit of a lower leg, little hip stretch. So you can keep your babe here. Take your right ankle, cross it over your left knee, and then jiggle your leg back and forth a few times. So when we were talking about our pelvis before, we were kind of rolling around the clock. Now I want you to keep your pelvis on the floor, so both hips stay on the ground. So as you stretch into your hip here, your pelvis, your lower back isn't coming off the floor, but it's just your thigh bone moving away from your hip. And then just back and forth a few times. Good. And then depending on if your babe is lying down on you or wherever they are, you can pull one leg in, maybe just kind of give it a little squeeze here. Or do as good as you can. Hi. Hold here. 3, 2, 1. Good, and then release. Keep that ankle on top of your knee. We're going to do a little hip work here. Yeah. Hi. So you might need to move your left leg further away from you to make a little bit more of an angle. The leg that's crossed over here, we're going to try to lift it off of the other knee. So you're going to try to lift up and lower. So as you lift, you're lifting your foot towards your face. And then you're trying to keep your knee down so it's not coming up like this. Okay? So you don't want to squish your baby, right? So you want to lift up and down. And let's do a few more. Squeeze up and lower. Lift up and lower. 2 more. Squeeze, lift, lower. Last one, squeeze up. Hold it. 3, 2, 1. And then see if you can just stretch your leg up to the sky. Get it as straight as you can. We have sweet potatoes today, and I see sweet potato in your ear. Point and flex your foot, point and flex your foot, up and down a few times. Take a few breaths. Circle your ankle a few circles around one direction. And then circle around the other way. Hey! Let's do the other leg. So lower that leg down and then cross your left ankle over the right knee and then just jiggle that leg back and forth. So if you lack a bit of hip mobility, this is where like your lower back, your side waist will be twisting side to side. And we don't want that. Keep that fixed to the floor so that it's just your leg, your thigh bone moving in relation to your hip. And then just moving it back and forth, back and forth. Hi. And then let's see if we can get a little bit of a stretch here. So as much as you can, pull your other leg in. Give it a little squeeze. If you have your hands free, you can wrap it around the leg, or if not, just kind of pull it in with your other opposite knee. We're getting a little bit of some tummy time like this, aren't we? Take a few breaths. 3, 2, 1. Now let's lower it down and then a little bit more work. So again, your knee is going to drive forward. Your foot, you can flex your foot, and you're going to try to lift your foot off of your knee. So you're going to squeeze up and down. 2 and down. 3 and lower. 4 and lower. 5, lower. 2 more, lower. Last one, lift it up, hold it, squeeze. 3, 2, 1, and then lift your legs straight up. Point and flex your foot, point and flex your foot. Get a nice little stretch in the back of the leg. Do a few circles, circle around one direction. Circle, roll around the other way. Good. All right. And then release and set your leg down. Okay, so we're going to use our babe again now. We're going to do a little bit of belly work. So with your legs, keep your legs on the floor. And then if babe's on your tummy, I want you to inhale, take a deep breath, feel your ribs expand. And on the exhale, you can S-breath or just exhale out sharply and feel your lower belly draw in. So feel that deep lower belly pull in. Let's do it one more. Inhale, big deep breath. S-breath, breathe it out. So as you exhale out, that belly is drawing down and in. Now, keep the belly drawing down and in, and then see if you can take your babe. Bend your knees in. And then let's do a little bit of airplane. So just make sure you got a hold of them well. And now, depending on the degrees of ability and where you are in your postpartum journey, maybe you just work here and just kind of moving back and forth. Okay, so that's less work in the belly. But if you want to challenge yourself a little bit, and then you can just bring your legs up more into this 90-degree angle. What I want you to be aware of is that you're not like jamming your back into the floor. Okay, we want to have a degree of suppleness in your center. You want to have that lower belly drawing in so that when you lift up and away here, there's no coning out or doming of your belly. So just kind of play with it, and maybe just go up and down a few times. It's a little bit of a quads working. And then if you want to just hold it, and then a little bit further away that the legs are from you, you get a little bit more of that belly work. So the more you get into that 90-degree angle. And then a personal favorite of hers is we keep the legs in, and then we tuck in. Tuck in. So you lift your head and bring your knees towards your forehead, and then you squeeze in. So make sure you exhale as you do it. Exhale. Exhale. And if that's a bit hard lifting your head, then maybe you just bring your knees back and you go back and forth. But you want to exhale as you curl back. Exhale. So we're just getting a little bit of that lower belly pulling in. And if you feel or you see that there's doming or coning out from your belly, then maybe it's not the best thing, but just kind of scale it back and work on more of that breath, and then feeling that the S breath where you feel your belly draw in towards your spine. Again, a couple more. 3. And exhale. exhaling every time I curl. 2. And last 1. Very good. Okay, so let's bring them down. Right onto your belly. Maybe one last little bit of some arm exercise just because it's kind of fun and they should like it too. Let's lift them up. So, we're going to lift. Exhale. 1, 2, 3, 4. Try to do 5. 5. And if you can, just hold them there. 3, 2, 1, and down. Yay! Good. So, just a nice little bit of work, working on your center, working on our pelvis, and all these things that are connected to the core, which help us to just integrate your core and make everything a little bit stronger. So, if you can and you have time, just relax here. Let your baby just sit on your belly while you hold her. Close your eyes and just take a few breaths. Let them play a little horsey, jumpy fun. And let me know. Hope you enjoyed the class. Thanks. Are you tired?